What's up, guys? Zaid here with a Dueling Book replay for you. Yesterday, as in yesterday for you guys, if you're watching this today of upload, will have uploaded my deck profile on this deck. It's an Invoked Dogmatika list that I spiced up, but it's got some interesting choices in it, and I kind of like the list. I'm thinking about playing it at a local soon. Maybe by the time I upload this, I'll have done that already, but probably not. And I'm playing against Carnage, who is almost 900 rating, and I've seen him in high rated a lot before. I think I've had some videos on the channel of him playing Drytron, but I dueled against him. I thought it was kind of cool. I actually mentioned that to him in the chat that I've seen him playing Drytron before. But he's playing the 60 card, what's it called? Brave Token Dragon Link. And he opens Nib, Boot Sector, Veiler, Seyfert, Faithful. I'm playing, like I said, Invoked Dogmatika. I open Fusion Destiny, Imperm, Ogre, Alistair, Celestial. And so my intention on watching this, obviously, you guys get to watch it. It's content too. It's a duel to watch, but I want to see if I misplayed anywhere and see if there's any little intricacies that I could do to play better to note for the future on Dueling Book, and also if I do play this at a local soon. So he's going first. He's going to activate Faithful, normal summon Seyfert, Faithful effect, and I'm going to Ogre that. Then he's going to Seyfert. I feel like it was fine to Ogre that for sure. I feel like that's why I play Ogre, is to stop this engine. But I maybe should have impermed the Seyfert. Looking at his hand, we obviously see if I would have done that, that would have been not game, but he would have had to pass and he'd have nothing, no follow-up either. But in hindsight, these could be any 3 cards, and then if I imperm and he has any extender, I just kind of lose. So my thought process was kind of I'll probably just hit the Romulus or something. Try to get him in a choke point. Get him to commit a little more. Stop something that he would have been able to otherwise extend to if these cards were extenders. And so he's going to summon out the black. Goes into Striker. Adds white. And doesn't search Boot Sector. So we know he has the Boot Sector in hand now. I mean, we watching now obviously know, but Zaid from the past now knows that there's a Boot Sector in hand. Specials the white. He just goes into the Heavenly Sphere, and he's going to pass the turn to me after activating Boot Sector. And I'm guessing, it was good of him here to put the Boot Sector, because, I have got Alistair, and he's not going to want to bounce Alistair. But I'm assuming that's, kind of why he does this. Not to counter Alistair specifically, but in case the opponent were to commit a resource that you wouldn't want to return because it would give them additional value, so that you still have something, so it's always live. Or if I were to just imperm it or something, I guess. I don't know. But I'm not going to imperm this card. I don't think anyways. I'm just going to normal the Alistair and activate the effect. He's going to Veiler it. So the Alistair trades with the Veiler. And then I'm going to attack. And the Ash is going to trade with the Sphere, because he's going to tribute to bounce this. Because now we know one unknown and Boot Sector. And unless this would have been a normal summon, I think it's safe to assume that the card in hand isn't an extender, because he started his playoff with the normal summon. So it has to have been a normal summon. If it was any dragon extender, he would have played it. So I'm assuming it's a brick or a hand trap. And then I just hit for the 1k. We're leaving him on no follow-up, or we perceive to be no follow-up. There's still technically a chance it would have been follow-up. But I'm in a Fusion Destiny. And so I'm going to have DPE pop. And I'm going to have the Imperm. And he's going to draw an Ogre. And he just scoops it up here. He can't really play through this and this. And yeah, so I'm going to go second game 2. He's going to make me go second, I believe. It would be kind of weird if he let me go first, honestly. But I open Phantasme, Alistair, Lancia, Nadir's Servant, Fusion Destiny. He opens double Seyfert, Destrudo, Adventure, Chaos Space. Dude plays 60 card and has drawn the Faithful in both opening hands thus far. That kind of sucks for him. I guess it's better than not having access to the engine at all, but it's not how you want to start that engine. So he's going to use the Faithful, grab Enchantress, pitch Enchantress, and here I'm going to drop the Lancia. I don't know if this was... One, I don't know if this is correct. 2, I don't even know if I really like Lancia that much. I mentioned this in my deck profile on this deck, that I feel like in a deck like this, you're not really you're not oftentimes trying to really commit to like a crazy board. You're only putting up like one negate, and you have hand traps, and you kind of snowball advantage. And so in a deck like this, I kind of like the hand traps that one for one trade with the opponent over a card like this that stops them for a turn but lets them keep the resources. Because now, yeah, I Lancia this, but if I don't kill him or put up a bunch of interruptions, he can still use this next turn. And even if I put up interruptions, this might eat one of the interruptions. Like, it's going to force me to do something about it eventually, on top of having to waste this to deter him from using it now. So in hindsight, I don't think I like the Lancia in the deck that much even, but in this exact moment, it might have just still been right to do because I don't really have an out to him searching the right and activating it. And once he gets the Griffin on board, like, the Lancia will be dead and the Phantasma will be dead, so I guess might as well do it here. But he's going to go Summon Safer and then Destrudo effect. I feel like that plays a little sus, to be honest. I don't see why, unless he doesn't play any other. He has to play sevens. He's got to play Romulus, or not Romulus, Abzorrouter. He definitely could have went Safer, Pay Cost, Tribute, Destrudo. He would have died to an Ogre there, probably, actually. No, he wouldn't, because he has Chaos Space. Like, I really don't see a world where you wouldn't go Safer, Tribute the Destrudo, Search Router, and then you can use this from Graveyard to summon itself, because this card's not limited to hand. You can do it from Grave. So I feel like that play seems a little sus, but I guess I could see him playing around something there. Here, it looked like he was going to Link 2, but he was saying that he wanted to make Striker first. And on the summon of Striker, he kind of like, I feel like he was trying to speed through it and actually realized he messed up. And seems cool. I was just going to let him take it back. But he goes, summon the Striker, chain 2 Faithful Adventure to search, and I'm going to go chain 3 Phantasme. I don't know if right here is the best spot for Phantasme either. Just because we know he's going to link into something eventually. Like, if he's going to have to link these into a Romulus, I could always just do it on the Romulus. But my theory was use it as quick as possible to see if I can draw into another hand trap. I also, maybe this was wrong here, because I put back the Meltdown. Having Fusion Destiny, there's probably a case to just put back the Alistair, so I can activate Meltdown, Search, and then have the Meltdown and protect with the Fusion Destiny. But I think my theory at the time of playing this was that I didn't want to play in the Droll with it. Because my hand already, like, kind of takes an L to Droll. So if I would have added that, I'd have, like, no play through a Droll, except, like, just Fusion Destiny. And now through Droll, I would have Fusion Destiny with a Makaba, which I guess is fine that I played it this way. I don't know if it comes up that I needed the field spell, honestly. He's going to make the Romulus. Romulus is going to search him the field spell. And he's going to Ravine, pitch the equip spell. Now he's going to send Router, search Tracer. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Boot Sector effect, special the Tracer. And then he's going to Tracer, pop the Faithful, summon out. I wonder why he opted to pop this instead of that. The fact that he did makes me feel like he plays 2. Because you just kind of made your Water Enchantress not nearly a strong follow-up if you only play one of that. But in exchange, you're keeping the Boot Sector launch. And so, even if he only plays one of this, I guess he values the follow-up from the Boot Sector more than he values the follow-up from Adventure. And I don't know if that's correct or not, honestly. I don't play the deck, and let me know what you guys think on that one, honestly. But here he's going to go into a Savage. I'm assuming the reason he just goes straight into Savage and not into something like the Chaos Ruler, just because, like, he can't banish this turn. So anything he mills that has grave effects, like, he could hit a Levy, but Levy's not going to do anything because he can't use it this turn. He also, if he hits a big guy, won't be able to add it back with Safer because of that being locked. He could have dug for a hand trap, but if he didn't hit one, it wouldn't matter, and he already has access to Water Enchantress. So this just, like, gives him a guaranteed interruption, I guess. But it gives him less follow-up, so, like, I guess that's the trade-off he takes. So he's ending the turn with 1 interruption, a Chaos Space with a Safer in hand, and the Water Enchantress for follow-up, and the Boot Sector for follow-up. And I'm going to draw an Veiler, which I don't think is a crazy draw here, really. It might work for me, but here I think I misplayed pretty hard, and we're going to talk about it. I summon Alistair, and I'm going to search Invocation, and then I link these into Anaconda. And this is where I think the misplay is. So I'm going to activate Invocation, and it's going to force the Savage Negate. Because I have the Fusion Destiny, I think 100% I should have just used Anaconda first to force this. Like, what's the point of making this even? I feel like I played this really bad by making this but not using it first. Because if I would have made this, used it, if he didn't negate it, I would summon the DPE, punch over Romulus, DPE, attempt to pop the Savage, and then he would negate that. But does it negate and destroy or no? No, it just negates the activation. So, like, I'd still have the DPE on board. Next turn, he wouldn't have this as an interrupt. I'd have the DPE, and I'd have the Veiler. But I feel like he would have negated this, and then I would have Invocation for Mechaba, and then Fusion Destiny anyways, and I would have been in a much stronger position, I think. And also, I only play one Invocation, so the fact that he negated this has now turned off my Alistair engine entirely for the rest of the duel. Unless I Nadir Servant send Omega to put back Invocation. That's technically a line I can do. So here I'm going to Vert. He's going to let it resolve, which now, like, this is dead in hand. So I definitely feel like it was a punt to not do that, but I might not get punished. We'll see. I'm going to Battle Phase, punch the Romulus. Enforcer is going to pop Anaconda and pop his guy. And then I'm going to pass, or I'm going to Nadir Servant first, it looks like. Send a Tis, pop the boot, search the Ecclesia to hurt his follow-up even more. And then Prosperity to grab a hand trap. I believe I get Ash off it. Let me see what it mills, though. Yeah, out of those mills, I definitely added the Ash. We milled an Ecclesia, a Nadir's, a Prosperity, Veiler, Ash, Ogre. And the reason I go for Ash is because it can take care of this Temple. And Ogre, he already used the Faithful, so I felt like I wasn't going to get value out of that. And Veiler I already have one of. So here we're going to have 3 hand traps. There's 3 cards in hand. Or not 3 hand traps. 2 hand traps and a DPE. Which feels unlosable, but I'll find a way to lose it. Don't you worry. I maybe shouldn't have Ashed this here. And if, knowing he has this, right, if my intentions were to Ash it, let me break this down on why I think this is wrong, actually. I do Ash it here. Let me hit the button so it shows it. But if when I saw the Ash, right, I should have thought to myself, he has Enchantress Engrave. If he uses Enchantress, would I Ash it? And I think if he plays a second Faithful, it is good to Ash it. And if he doesn't, it doesn't matter. Because all this is going to get him is a level 4 token if he doesn't play 2 Faithful. And so, if that were the case, then I potentially should have just added Ogre. Or I could have just DPE popped the Faithful. So, I think that not only was it incorrect to Ash here, but if I thought about it deeper, I would 100% know that I'm just going to pop Faithful with this, or it's not going to do anything. Or I could have added the Ogre to deal with the Faithful. So I think this was a very, very bad Ash right here. And I get punished very hard for it by the Chaos Space. Like, imagine if this just summoned a token, right? If it doesn't hit the Faithful, it's just a token. It's going to do literally nothing. And if he does put the Faithful, I'll DPE change with it. He would then Chaos Space, I would Ash this, and he'd have E-Telly token. He could maybe make a Hulk or something, but I have the Veiler to deal with that. So this was just very poor use of my interactions. And I'm going to get punished very hard for it. Because now he gets the Black Dragon. He's going to use the E-Telly. And he's summoning out this Punk card that lets him pay 600 to search another Punk. I also don't really think that I should have outed that here either. He has it normaled. So if he uses that, he could search a monster. He would normal the monster. I don't know if he plays a trap to search also. If he does, then he's going to kind of get a lot of value out of this. So it might have been right to pop. But I also don't know what these cards are going to get him. Like, would it turn into a Cherubini? That wouldn't really do much. If he didn't have access to this, it would access that. Could also send one as follow-up. But, like, I don't know what this was really going to get for him. I almost wish I would have let him do it to see what it was going to get for him and use that information in game 3 if it goes to it. But we'll use DP Engrave. And he's going to use Safer to put back... Here, we actually had a little miscommunication here. He Safer puts back Savage, banishes a Dark for the Collapse Serpent, which you can't do. But then he tells me that he messed... Or he's going to use Space Draw. And I call out the fact that he messed this up. But then he starts going back in a very weird way. And it was confusing me, as you can tell in this. And I'm like, dude, just let me check the logs. Let me check the logs. Let me see why you did that. Let me check the logs. And he just, like, kept trying to go back on it. So I think he eventually, like, completely rewinds. It was a little annoying, to be honest. Like, just let me look at the log. And then I could tell you that I understand what's going on, and we're good. But he didn't do that. And he instead completely rewinds, using Space Pitch Safer, grab black, and then banishing the Safer to summon the black. And, well, first he's going to use a Safer to put back that, and then he's going to banish the other Safer to summon the black dragon. So now we're on the same page. He makes Pisty. He's going to search white. Special the white. Banishing the black. Chaos Space put back. Draw a card. Grabs an E-Tally for himself. Hits me for 27. Ooh, yo. Oh, never mind. I thought something else happened. I was thinking ahead. But he's going to summon the Seal. He's going to get the Search. And the Seal is a pretty strong play here, because during the standby phase, it's going to allow him to trade with my DPE. Although I think... Oh, let me think, right? So, the DPE comes out. I could have retained player priority on the standby phase, I think. Or maybe he gets a window at the resolution of this summoning. I'm not sure how that works exactly, but I think I would get the window first because I have a spell speed 2 or higher. I would declare DPE, but then if he chains this, bounce, that same thing happens. So, here he just gets to, like, trade with my DPE. Pretty good trade for him. If I would have set the Fusion Destiny, it would have been a little different, honestly, but I didn't do that. I was not really thinking about this, so maybe that was a way I could have played better, set the bluff. It also forced him to try to pop it on his turn, or fear back row. And I'm not getting any value out of this card, so maybe I should have done that. But then he's going to summon out Red MD. This is another big misplay I made, right? So, I didn't realize how low he was, or that I had a line to kill him. So I'm just going to summon Ecclesia, Search, Attack, Pass. But, and, maybe I thought I could special the floor, because, so I'll show you. I summon it, search floor. And maybe I tried to special the floor, I don't remember. But I can't because there's not an extra deck monster on board. So I just went battle hit. But what I could have done was normal summon Veiler, link it into Almirage, special the Ecclesia, search the floor, special the floor. And that would give me this to kill that. And then I would use this to boost, and I'd hit him for 3k, and this would have been my game. So, this game I honestly made a lot of misplays. Also, I'm going to Meltdown for Alistair. Not even really a reason why. I guess just to, like, deck thin. Because, like I said, this is gone. The Invocation is gone. So, my engine's kind of not really on. There's also a case where since I wasn't going for the lethal push that I should have went for, I even could have searched Alistair, summon that, made All Mirage, so I could keep the Veiler. Like, I just made a lot of misplays. But there's also, like, if I wasn't going to make the push for game, there's a case where instead of searching this, I could have grabbed Punishment. That way, Punishment can send Omega to pop a card, then Omega can put Invocation back to keep my engine going. But it's going to go to him. He's going to E-Tally. I don't remember what he summons. Oh, yeah, the Punk card. I guess here we'll see if he played, or what else he played. I try to negate, realizing I can't, and then I Veiler it. Because there's no extra deck, so I can't use this. I'm still getting used to these cards, honestly. I don't really play this deck. This is my first time putting a deck together, really, and trying it. But here he's going to summon black. I think he has another Chaos Space, maybe. Nope. So it's not as good for him, but the black is still nice. He's going to punch over my Ecclesia. And then main 2, he's going to go into the Dark Charmer. The Dark Charmer is going to grab my Anaconda. And then he's going to make access code, I believe. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. Yeah, he makes the access code with it. I was really scared when he grabbed my Anaconda because I thought he was going to use the effect and summon a DPE. That would have been kind of insane. But he didn't. He's just going to like banish 2, clear my board. Now I set the Fusion Destiny, and now I just like lose it for nothing. Then he's going to set 1 pass. My turn rolls around. I draw Lancia, so I'm going to special it in the draw phase off the Dasher. And then normal Alistair, special Floor just to try to draw. Because we have the Celestial. So I'm going to use Celestial, draw 2. I don't draw anything that's going to let me kill him. And I think I might just scoop here, honestly. I don't remember. Or no, I play it out. I attack. I should have used the boost here. I forgot that I could do that. But his guy's at 43. So I'm going to Lancia. And he literally just punches over Alistair. I could have set the Alistair also instead of normaling it, which would have kept me out of game range here. So, like I said, this game too, I played so bad. I, in hindsight, watching it now, didn't even realize how bad I really played it until watching it. When I played it in the moment, I noticed a couple of these plays, but there's a lot that I missed, and I'm kind of glad I'm doing this. But game 3, I'm going to go first. We open pretty insane, honestly. He opens Tactic, Droll, Ogre, Rocket, Ravine. What's up with him and always drawing cards that he doesn't necessarily want to draw? With like, he had the Adventure both games, and now he's got Ravine. Like, isn't this why you play 60 so you don't do that? But I opened Fusion Destiny, Nadir, Ecclesia, Imperm, Prosperity. And the Nadir's a little stronger now because we did side in the Maximus this time. I told him too, I'm cracked, because my hand felt like God tier. I'm going to activate the Prosperity for 3 this time, because I do 6 game 1. Or when I'm going second, because I'm not playing the Maximus in the main, but I still play the cards in the extra, so I just kind of get rid of those. But here I'm playing Maximus, so I can't afford to get rid of all 6, so I just do 3. I grab the Lancia off of this, and then he's gonna droll me. So luckily I was able to grab a turn skip-ish card off that, so that he kind of makes me wait a turn, but I get to keep my resources. I'll make him wait a turn. He can keep his resources. And then on my turn, it'll be like we're both just like playing, but I have a battle phase. Next, I'll Fusion Destiny. Summon out the DPE. Set the Imperm and pass. He draws Nocto. He's going to normal summon the Synchron. And here I decide to Lancia. I didn't shotgun it because I was playing around Gamma. And being Gamma would kind of hurt right here. And also I'm going to activate DPE and pop the Rocket. Yeah, so we popped the Rocket. And the reason I opted for that was because I don't think there's a lot of good places where this card can trade. And like popping it here makes it so this Nocto is not an extender. And it makes it so if you drew any other rockets, they're not extenders. Whereas if I would have waited to pop the boot, this would, or the Nocto would still be an extender, but then the rockets still wouldn't. So I felt like it cut him off of more extenders. And in his current hand, it technically did. And the Lancia deals with the extenders that require banishing. So I think I stand by that play, but I'm not 100% certain on that one. And I'll use the Phoenix Enforcer and Grave. He's then going to use Tactic to draw 2. He gets himself a Temple and a Foolish, which under Lancia aren't very good. And he opts to literally just pass here, which I think is fair. Yeah, I don't really think he would have had another way to extend. There'd have to be some weird cards in his deck. But I'm going to standby phase, bring back my DPE. Main 1, we're going to Terraforming. Activate Meltdown. And he's going to try to Ogre this, which you can't do. And I explained to him you can't do that. But the thing that's cool about the fact that he did is it gives me the opportunity to know he has Ogre at least. Took a long dialogue. He talked a lot about it. But let me skip through it. There we go. So I search the Alistair. Normal the Alistair. Search off Alistair. Grab Invo. And then we're going to Invo. Fuse away the Alistair. Fuse away my Lancia. Summon out the Makaba. So this is 5k damage so far. Technically here I should have used Invocation first to add Alistair back. So that if he ogred this, I could negate it with Makaba. But I don't even know if I would have wanted to negate it with Macabre, to be honest. Because I'm going to special this, get the effect, and he's going to Ogre. And that's just, like, fine. Because we're going to search Fleur-de-Lis. Then I'm going to use Nadir's Servant. Also, I've only summoned 3 times. So I'm not playing into the Nib yet. If I play into the Nib without having added the Alistair back, then I definitely misplayed because I could get punished by the Nib very hard. But nope, I decided to add it back here, which I'm not going to get punished by the Nib then. He doesn't have it, obviously, but you should still play around that card every chance you get. And then I'm going to banish the fusion that I sent with Nadir's to summon Maximus. Because now I can special the Fleur-de-Lis also. And then this is still game. So I thought this was kind of cool, actually. Because it's not often that with this deck you OTK somebody. But we put him out of here. He shows me his hand. And then him and I talked about his deck a little bit. I don't know if he wants that to be shown or not. So I'm not really going to feature that part in the video. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about my list.